I don't know. I really feel like this could be improved on significantly, but apparently this is the best I could think of. Hello everybody, my name is Poggy, and welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video. Today we're going to be looking at the developer update for September 2020, the mid-chapter update. Most of the changes circle around the last chapter that was released before Blight, which is the Pyramid Head changes, the Executioner. Dead by Daylight says that from watching Pyramid Head matches over the last few months, we have noticed that many people will opt to only use his Punishment of the Damned attack at pallets and windows, where the survivor is locked into the interaction and unable to attempt to dodge the attack. To address this and make gameplay more dynamic, we are making two changes. Number 1, increasing the delay after canceling Rites of Judgment before Pyramid Head can attack. And number 2, decreasing the delay after attacking with Punishment of the Damned. Missing an attack with Punishment of the Damned can feel very punishing. Oh, the irony. The cooldown after attacking is fairly long, which gives the survivor a lot of time to gain distance. While lowering the cooldown, you'll be able to use your power more liberally without having it backfire as hard if you miss. The goal of these changes is to improve Pyramid Head's gameplay in a more skill-based direction, which rewards aiming your attacks rather than canceling your power or using it only in situations where you're guaranteed a hit. I actually don't have a lot to say about these changes. I think I agree mostly with these changes, although Space Coconut had some things to say about it, and you can see his video in the link in the description. But overall, I'm actually excited to try these changes in the PTB, and I hope to see you there in the fog. Now let's get on to some of these perk changes, because these are where things get a little bit strange. The first one we're going to look at is Trail of Torment. Now, for those of you that don't know what Trail of Torment does, basically after kicking a generator, you become undetectable for 16 seconds. However, during that time, the generator's aura is yellow and is revealed to survivors, and it can only be triggered once every 80 seconds. Now, the biggest complaint with this perk is that the survivor's hand is held and they are told exactly which generator it was, so they know where you're coming from. Now, what they're changing here is not the yellow marker, which is the thing people were really complaining about, but instead, they're making the undetectable status last eternally, essentially, or until one of the survivors touches the yellow generator. So effectively, if a survivor team is paying any attention at all and sees that a generator is yellow, all they have to do is go and touch it, and you're no longer undetectable. So that 16 seconds, or whatever it was in Tier 3, would go down to 2, 3, maybe 5. But I guess if your survivor team is completely incompetent, which never happens in red ranks, by the way, you're going to be looking at long undetectable times. Next up is Force Pendants. Those who stand in the way of duty will suffer harsh judgment. Survivors who take a protection hit are inflicted with a broken status effect for 40 seconds. This is already not a great perk, honestly. It doesn't really do a whole lot. Not that the broken status effect is necessarily a bad thing, but if you're in a chase with a survivor, it really isn't going to matter if you have Force Pendants or not. However, they are increasing the duration time of broken status effect by 20 seconds across all tiers. Now, this actually kind of makes sense. This is the change that they're making to Force Pendants. They're increasing the time, so I can kind of see it being a little more useful, but still, there are better perks that could be run than this. In addition, I wanted to look at a couple of other perks, and one of them we actually looked at last video, which is Cruel Limits. Cruel Limits is a perk that I find very useless and did not really enjoy using it all on most characters, and I tried it on my main now, which is Hag, and essentially it doesn't really do a whole lot. I think I got value out of it one time. What is with people? Just play the game. Ah, see? Perfect. Okay, let's put one here. They don't know these are blocked yet, but all these windows are blocked right now. Okay, that gave me no value at all, but cool. My trap did. It's still blocked. It is still blocked. He could try to go vault it. Yes, he did. He totally tried to vault that shit. The change that they're making is to increase the radius to 32 meters. I don't really see this being as a useful change because it basically says that survivors have to play incorrectly in order for Cruel Limits to work, which is to say that when a generator is finished, survivors have to stay by the generator that's finished. And how many very good survivors are you going to see doing that? This is mostly a perk that punishes low-tier survivors, and I don't really see it as being very useful for high ranks. I think what would make Cruel Limits a little more useful is if maybe, like, instead of within the 32 meters, it was perhaps every pallet and window outside of 32 meters, or if just every pallet and window instead of every window, because currently it only affects windows and it doesn't affect pallets. I don't know. I really feel like this could be improved on significantly, but apparently this is the best I could think of. There's a lot more perk changes, and I'm not going to go over all of them. You can read the link in the description to see most of them, but the only other one I want to bring up is Goes the Weasel, where they have decreased the time the perk stays active for 45 seconds. So basically at max, Goes the Weasel lasts for 60 seconds, and you have time to go and do anything you need to do, and come back and pop a generator within that 60-second mark. It used to be Goes the Weasel only had a 30-second activation time. However, this was changed to 60 seconds, which they think was too long, and now are pulling it back to 45. The only thing I have to say about this is, first of all, it's not a huge change that I think is going to affect the perk that much, but I'm going to say that their reasoning for this, which is that killers have too much time between cooldowns to do things, is that couldn't you say the same thing about Decisive Strike, and yet you don't see that perk on the update list? And I don't think that you ever will. This game is very survivor-sided and treats killers very unfairly. There's also a couple other updates regarding graphics, and I'm excited to see what those look like at the end, but currently, that's really all there is right now. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like and watch for the next one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.